So, wenn alles gut geklappt hat, bin ich jetzt live. Okay, dann für die, die jetzt hier reingeschaltet haben und noch nicht wissen, was los ist, keine Sorge, es gibt gleich Bild. Ähm, Ich bin auch gut zu hören, so wie es aussieht. Ich stelle mal ein kleines bisschen die Empfindlichkeit höher. So, ähm, wir spielen Zero Escape, beziehungsweise ich spiele das und möchte das heute ein paar Leuten näher bringen, die es vielleicht noch nicht gesehen haben oder gespielt haben. Diese Reihe ist nämlich in meinen Augen absolut grandios. Gut, man muss Visual Novels mögen, aber selbst wenn man kein großer Fan davon ist, die Story ist einfach verdammt packend. Aber gut, ich würde sagen, wir gehen jetzt einfach mal ins Game rein. Das heißt, gleich müsst ihr jetzt auch was sehen. Gleich müsst ihr das Fenster erkannt haben. Yep, jetzt hat's das. Okay, perfekt. Wir sind im Startbildschirm. Und dann müssen wir mal schauen. Okay, ich kann Continue, was aber nicht. Moment, da habe ich jetzt bei Memories of the Escape noch. Ah, ich habe noch die alten Sachen freigeschaltet. Das wollen wir uns natürlich nicht ansehen. Ich muss das Spiel nämlich eben nochmal neu runterladen, weil ich das nicht mehr am Rechner hatte. Aber gut. Wenn sich fragt, was das für ein Spiel ist, ich hatte es zwischenzeitlich mal auf Twitter erklärt. Es ist eine Visual Novel. Also es wird hier primär um Story gehen. Es gibt kein krasses Gameplay, aber die Story ist extrem packend und es ist im Grunde ein Mystery-Thriller. Und ich kann es jedem nur empfehlen. Von daher, ich bin auch gespannt, was so im Chat sich tun wird. Ich hoffe, dass es einiges in Interaktion gibt, weil ich sowas sehr mag. Vielleicht gibt es auch einige Leute, die dann interessante Theorien spinnen, was es mit bestimmten Charakteren auf sich hat und wer vielleicht bestimmte Sachen getan hat, bei denen man es am Anfang noch nicht weiß und so weiter. Darauf freue ich mich sehr, weil das macht einen großen Reiz dieses Spiels aus. Für die, die die Story kennen, bitte ich allerdings nicht zu spoilern. Ansonsten freue ich mich aber, wie gesagt, über jede Interaktion mit Leuten im Chat. Ich versuche, so gut es geht, darauf zu achten. Natürlich ab und an werde ich einfach für Fluss und Dramatik ein bisschen mich eher der Story widmen, aber grundsätzlich versuche ich, möglichst gut auf den Chat zu achten. Ich würde sagen, Oh, es kommt jetzt, weil ich nichts gemacht habe, der Trailer. Und ich finde, das ist gar nicht mal so unpassend. Mal ganz davon abgesehen, dass ich die Art Direction echt nicht schlecht finde. Ach ja, es wird übrigens auch ein bisschen paranormal, das kann ich schon mal sagen. Ja, ich denke, das ist ein guter Punkt, um zu sagen, ja, dann lassen wir das Spiel mal wirklich beginnen. So. Man bemüht sich auch, wenn er nicht der Theorienspinner ist. Das ist nicht schlimm, keine Sorge. Wir starten jetzt mal das Spiel. So. We'll be starting from the beginning of the game. Please select a save slot. Ja, hier, das, was wir da oben sehen, sind freigeschaltete Enden. Wie man sieht, es gibt 6 verschiedene Enden. Wir nehmen natürlich erstmal diesen Slot. So. This game is fiction. All names, characters and incitements, ja bla bla. 2 modes of play, novel and adventure. You can switch in and out of each interchangeably. Augenscheinlich spielt ein Schiff eine große Rolle. A loud noise startled Junpei awake and his eyes snapped open. Übrigens, wir sehen oben Novel Screen. Es gibt auch die Möglichkeit, in einen sogenannten Adventure Screen zu gehen. was das angeht. Okay, erstmal danke für den Kommentar. Und ja, ich habe immer gerne ein paar neue Leute hier, keine Sorge. Und ja, das hier hat mit LoL mal so gar nichts zu tun. Was es mit Novel und Adventure zu tun hat, da werden wir drauf eingehen. Ich werde auch ein bisschen mal kurz was erklären, was diesen Novel- und Adventure-Screen angeht. Denn dieses Spiel kam ursprünglich raus für den Nintendo 3DS. Der PC-Port ist von 2017, glaube ich, also eine verhältnismäßig neue Sache. Und es ist so, dass dieses Spiel entsprechend noch ein bisschen alt ist. Das heißt, die Grafik, wie gesagt, vieles ist halt einfach nicht überragend. Es ist immerhin hübsch gezeichnet. Die Bilder sind da sehr schön. Aber dafür spielt man dieses Spiel eigentlich auch nicht. Das Spiel besticht durch die Story. Wir spielen einen Charakter namens Junpei. Das Ganze ist, wie man schon am Namen hört, ein bisschen japanisch. Aber die meisten Charaktere haben lustigerweise keine japanischen Namen. Warum auch? Weil die meisten Charaktere sind keine Japaner. Nur es ist so, dass dieses auch der erste Teil einer Reihe ist, aber das habe ich ja auch so ein bisschen erläutert. Es gibt 3 Teile. Ich werde diese nacheinander durchgehen, einfach weil ich unbedingt nochmal zu dieser Reihe zurückkehren wollte und ein paar Leute darauf aufmerksam machen möchte, weil die Story einfach, ach, die ist so wunderbar. Also wie soll man sagen, wenn man einmal die Hirnwindungen so schön verknoten möchte, ist diese Story genau das Richtige. Aber machen wir erstmal weiter. Wie ich gesagt habe, das Spiel ist auf Englisch. Das heißt, ich werde entsprechende Sachen auf Englisch dann auch vorlesen. Was jetzt diese Sache mit Novel und Adventure Screen angeht, es gab ursprünglich das halt in der Darstellung mit 2 Bildschirmen. Das heißt, nicht wundern, dass dann ein paar Sachen ein bisschen komisch sind. Es ist ursprünglich auf was anderes ausgelegt gewesen. Das ist insbesondere bei den Adventure-Passagen, wo man dann halt wirklich so Escape-Room-Rätsel im Grunde löst, sichtbar. Aber im Grunde merkt man es nicht wirklich. Es ist gut umgesetzt, der Port. So, das heißt, jetzt muss ich ein bisschen was auf Englisch vorlesen. Ich werde es nicht on the fly übersetzen, weil das ansonsten einfach zu anstrengend wird auf Dauer. Ein bisschen Englischkenntnisse sollte man also haben. Wenn ihr mal was nicht versteht, fragt einfach im Chat. A loud noise startled Junpei awake and his eyes snapped open.
What the?
Ach ja, ich hatte noch nicht erwähnt, wenn Charaktere reden, ist es vertont. Das muss ich also nicht vorlesen. Ich mache also quasi nur den Erzähler. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize the surroundings. Au! Oh, jetzt habe ich das vorgelesen. With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air.
What? Whoa!
Übrigens, ist die Lautstärke gut abgemischt? Also kann es sein, dass das Spiel ein bisschen laut ist oder bin ich bin ich laut genug? Ist das Spiel laut und leise genug? Ich weiß es nicht. Am besten mal kurz da ein bisschen was zu kommentieren, während ich hier weiterlese. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold, grey floor.
Ouch! God damn it! Ah, what the hell?
Und hier haben wir jetzt die Möglichkeit, zwischen Adventure Screen und Novel Screen zu wechseln. Warum? Spielt eigentlich keine große Rolle.
A bed?
Und wenn wir jetzt hier zurückwechseln, also ich bleibe lieber im Novel Screen tatsächlich, weil wir da mehr Erzählung bekommen. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen apparently from the topmost bunk. Wenn ich jetzt zum Beispiel wechsle, fehlt das.
I fell pretty far.
Das heißt, ich bleibe im Novel Screen, wenn es geht.
That really hurt.
His shoulder hurt, his knee hurt, his hip hurt, his entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead where he'd slammed it against the low ceiling.
Damn, my eyesight's kind of blurry. Must have hit my head. No, wait. That's not it.
At first, he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of his rude awakening, but as he looked around, he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking.
An earthquake. But it's shaking too fast for that.
Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake.
Anyway.
Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room. Übrigens, danke für den Hinweis im Chat. Dann ist es augenscheinlich ganz gut von dem Sound. Da bin ich schon mal sehr erleichtert. And muttered to himself.
Where am I?
His pain momentarily forgotten. Und warum war der jetzt... Ah, ich kann wieder hoch. Das ist gut. His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the tremors ceased.
Wait, it stopped?
A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking.
What's that sound?
In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. Das mit dem Vorlesen ist manchmal auch nicht ganz so ideal. The three-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set on the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door.
That's...
The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door in red paint, someone had written 5.
5? What's this 5 mean?
Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result.
It won't open.
It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader.
What's this? Is this keeping the door shut?
Junpei knocked hard on the door.
Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door!
There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped.
Huh? What the hell is this?
He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display.
A watch? It doesn't look like one. 5.
Übrigens, das ist eine Sache, die tatsächlich in allen 3 Spielen vorkommt, dass die Charaktere immer irgendwelche Armbänder, Uhren etc. tragen, die immer auch entsprechend mit dem Spiel zusammenhängen.
That's the same as the door.
True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange, and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over as if to remove the watch, but...
What? How do I take this off?
The other side of the bracelet was solid, no buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face. Perhaps?
Maybe pushing something on this will work?
He pushed them, but nothing happened. On a watch, they might be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet they did nothing.
Nothing. Damn. Guess I'll have to force it off.
Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However...
No good. This stupid thing won't come off.
A steel ring ran from the face around Junpei's wrist and back into the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future.
What the hell is the deal with this thing?
Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening, and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he were about to explode.
Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? What the hell happened to me? My head.
Pain bloomed, but he did his best to shake it off. He raised his head.
Huh.
It was at that moment that he noticed the window.
This is...
The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship.
Hold on. Am I on a ship?
Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness.
I can't see anything. If only it wasn't so dark outside.
Junpei squinted, trying to see something. Anything. It was at that moment...
Huh? What the... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. What the hell is going on here?
A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst, and water began to pour into the room.
What the hell? God damn it!
Junpei yelled and spun around. His feet slipping on the water already coming through the window, he ran for the door.
Hey! Anyone! Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something!
There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor and quickly rising toward his knees.
It's not stopping. Not good. Not good at all. Okay. I need to find a way out, and fast.
Junpei ran a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. Und damit sind wir beim ersten namensgebenden Escape Room. 3. Klasse Kabine. Operations during an escape. During an escape, you're restricted to an area. Your goal: search around to uncover how to unlock the door. There are items and hints in the room that will help you escape. Use the cursor to select a location you find suspicious to search the room. Use LB or left button or right button to walk around the room. Left stick controls. Move the left stick during escape to use the cursor. Press X to speed up the movement, press A to search where the cursor is placed. Das heißt, ich kann hier zum Beispiel sagen, ich möchte mir das ansehen. Was haben wir denn hier? About items. Once you've obtained an item, you'll be able to go to the item screen. Pressing Y will take you to the item screen. Note from Bulletin Board. Was auch immer es damit auf sich hat. Investigate with an item. The item visible in the lower left is the item currently in hand. When you close the item screen, the last selected item will be in hand. If you hold an item while investigating the room, you may trigger a reaction. Try switching out items in hand and search different places. Press up to quickly change between items. Das heißt, ich habe jetzt hier etwas, aber wir können uns noch ein bisschen weiter umsehen natürlich. Picture frame. An old picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. There's screws keeping the back on. Haben wir hier Note from a bulletin board. This note, ja, auf jeden Fall Dreiecke. Die Matratze oder hinter dem Bild mit dem Schiff würde man zuerst suchen. Ja, ist eine Idee. A bulletin board. There's nothing on it. Doesn't seem like there's anything hidden on the sink. This is the only drain in this room. There's nothing on top of the shelf. This is the middle bunk. Man kann sich auf jeden Fall so ein bisschen umsehen. Water just keeps pouring through the window. It's like a waterfall. I don't think shoving something into the window is gonna stop the water. In other words, if I don't want to die, I need to find a way out of this room. I have to figure this out. It's a pipe. I know. I'll crawl into the pipe and find a way out. There's nobody here to make fun of my lame jokes. Man, this sucks. So, wir können uns entsprechend drehen, um verschiedene Punkte anzusehen. Zum Beispiel die Betten. I can keep looking till the cows come home. All I'm gonna find up here is that pillow. Damn it. Damn it, isn't there something else I can use? There's a blue briefcase on top of the bed. Schauen wir uns das doch mal an. No dice, it's locked tight. Let's see if there's anything in the keyhole. The number on the dial is 0101. I guess I need to put the key in the keyhole before I can enter any numbers on the dial. Also doppelt gesicherter Koffer. Was haben wir denn hier? Well, let's see if there's anything in here. Looks like there is. A key? Yep, that's a key, alright. A little blue one. So, wir haben also einen Schlüssel. Der bringt uns nur noch nicht so viel, solange wir nicht auch die Kombination haben. This is the door to the stove. Well, it opens easily enough. Sure wish the door to get out of here was that easy to open. Was haben wir denn hier? Well, that solves the mystery of whether or not this stove has been used before. What's this? It looks red. Wir haben einen Schraubenschlüssel gefunden. Oder Schraubendreher, die Schraubenschlüssel. Normal screwdriver. Doesn't seem to be anything special about it. Aber wir können den jetzt kombinieren mit dem Ding, weil das hatte Schrauben hinten dran. Well, the screwdriver got those screws off easily enough. And here's the picture. Picture of a cruise liner. Und jetzt schauen wir mal. Oh, was haben wir denn da? Jetzt kombinieren wir mal kurz. Wir haben jetzt hier Rot. Und Blau. Die Frage ist jetzt, was ist was? Gehen wir davon aus, dass Rot das Helle und Blau das Dunkle ist, dann wäre das 2... Ach nee, Quatsch. Wir haben das Feste und das Ausgefüllte und das... okay, das heißt, wenn wir das so betrachten, dann wäre das 7, 4, 6, 3. 7, 4, 6, 3. Schauen wir mal, ob das funktioniert. Combining items, select combined, and the items can to combine two items. Das hatten wir schon gemacht. Two items can be combined, you will receive a new item. They cannot, nothing will happen. Two different combinations. Und jetzt hat mich das schon wieder rausgebracht. Was war's? 7, 4, 6, 3? 7, 4, 6, 3. There's a lock with a keyhole on the blue briefcase. So, key's pretty small, definitely not for a door. What's it for then? The key is blue. Is it supposed to open something else blue? Yeah. Alright, let's see what happens if I put this blue key in the keyhole. Nothing. I guess I'm gonna need some sort of code for the dial. Minigames. During an escape, your investigation may trigger one of several minigames. All operations for the minigames are done by using left stick and A. Some minigames will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or press the right thing. Operation instructions. Pressing the dial will cause it to move to the next number. Enter 4 numbers this way and then press the key. If the numbers are correct, it will unlock. Nochmal kurz in den item screen. Damn it, open your stupid thing. I don't think it's gonna open if I whack it on the wall like a couple of times. Might make me feel better. Not gonna help though. Alright, Junpei, don't freak out. Keep it cool and look around for some more clues. Ah ja, 7463, okay, danke. So, dann schauen wir mal, ob das jetzt funktioniert. Es ist lange her, dass ich das gespielt habe. Aber das sind doch die einfachen Rätsel. Oh, das scheint noch nicht zu stimmen. Augenscheinlich brauchen wir noch einen anderen Hinweis. Was haben wir denn hier? Einen roten Koffer. Lass mal hier kurz gucken. It's a closet. This is just like the blue briefcase. Yep, there's a lock on this one too, and it's not opening. Das heißt, es gibt noch einen roten Schlüssel und augenscheinlich auch noch einen Hinweis, der dann auch wieder in Blau und Rot aufgeteilt ist. Ist hier vielleicht was? Ein roter Schlüssel zum Beispiel. Small Key, Red. Small Red Key. Dann brauchen wir nämlich noch eines, wo dann links das Blaue ist und rechts das Rote. Und dann können wir das machen. So.
I should probably hold on to this key. Huh. Oh, what's up with my face? I look like a zombie. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? I left work, headed back to my apartment, and...
Flashback.
I'm back. Not like anyone will respond.
Kurz den Novel Screen. Wie gesagt, ich nehme den Novel Screen mit, wo es geht. It was past midnight when he came home. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment, a small one-bedroom affair that ran him about $630 a month. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far he'd been there for 3 years and 7 months. I'm back. Not like anyone will respond. He stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber.
Man, work was rough today.
Their cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before, then tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however.
Huh? A breeze.
The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the cold wind.
Huh, that's weird. Did I leave that open?
Junpei walked toward the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around.
Everything looks okay. I must have forgotten to close it.
He closed the window. Then it happened.
What?
Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden.
Who are...
Suddenly he couldn't finish. Junpei tried to yell, but all he could manage was a strangled croak.
I can't...
Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Übrigens, die Beschreibungen sind häufig so ein bisschen sehr bildlich, wie zum Beispiel hier, dass er mit einer Puppe verglichen wird. Und das finde ich tatsächlich sehr interessant. Man kann auch daraus tatsächlich ein paar Informationen schon rausholen. Und dieses Spiel ist gerade, was Twists angeht, sehr gut mit subtilem Foreshadowing. Achtet einfach mal wirklich auf sehr viele Sachen. Wenn ihr denkt, irgendetwas könnte später Bewandtnis haben, häufig hat es das. Too late, he noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well, a white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision.
Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen.
A rasping voice wormed his way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh and distorted in some way. Junpei couldn't put his finger on. Jetzt, da würde ich ja einen Herzinfarkt bekommen. Ich glaube, das würden viele, wenn plötzlich irgendein Fremder mit einer Gasmaske hinter ihnen steht.
You are going to participate in a game. The memory game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line. That
was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist.
That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. When I get my hands on him...
He ground his teeth in frustration and strained to remember anything about his attacker's figure.
Well, I guess there's no way to know if that was a man or not.
The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak.
Just who was that? They said, you have been chosen.
What it might mean, that was beyond him.
What the hell is going on? Why me?
There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important.
You are going to participate in a game. The Nunnery game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
Ich möchte kurz anmerken, in der Version, in der das ursprünglich veröffentlicht wurde, gab es noch kein Voice-Over. Das ist alles nachträglich gemacht worden und ich finde ziemlich gut gemacht. Das heißt aber auch, in dem ursprünglichen Spiel hatte man nur die Soundeffekte und die Musik. Was dem Ganzen nochmal eine ganz andere Atmosphäre gegeben hat, auch wenn ich das Original nie gespielt habe. Dennoch wollte ich es mal erwähnen.
The Nunnery game. Huh. What the hell is a Nunnery game? God damn it!
With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. So, damit haben wir Informationen bekommen. Klingt etwas wie unfreiwillige Squid Games. Na, nicht ganz. Es gibt gewisse Ähnlichkeiten, das gebe ich zu, aber damit hat es eigentlich nicht so viel zu tun. I guess that's a lever, huh? Maybe if I pull it? Well, it looks like pulling on the lever just makes a weird noise. Great. The light's still red and the display hasn't changed. Damn it. Why the hell isn't this thing opening? Die Tür selbst? 5. 5, huh? What does that mean? So. Haben wir hier irgendwas übersehen? There's a pair of simple chairs next to the table. The water's already up to the chair. Ja, Voice-Over passt... Wie gesagt, Voice-Over passt tatsächlich sehr, sehr gut, wenn man mich fragt. So. Oberes. There's a pipe on the other end of the bed. There's nothing up top. Here we are at the middle bunk. There's nothing useful here. There's a blue briefcase on top of the bed. Hm. Aber irgendwas muss es ja noch geben. Irgendwas übersehe ich. Well, looks like we've got a light here. And electricity. Ich habe doch nicht im Spiegel irgendwas übersehen, oder? There's nothing left on the mirror. Hm. Irgendwas muss man doch... Warte mal, hier war nichts Besonderes drin, oder? Sink is a piece of junk. Well, I won't be draining any water here, I guess. Was haben wir denn noch? Wir haben hier... Wir können den roten Koffer wahrscheinlich auch noch nicht öffnen, oder? Wir können den Schlüssel schon mal reinpacken. Alright, let's stick that red key in here. Yeah. It's not opening. In fact, it's not doing anything at all. Well, alright, I take that back. I guess I can move the dial now. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put in the right numbers and then turn the key. I do that, this thing should pop right open. Let's give it a shot. Noch nicht. Soll ich doch den Code falsch übertragen? Nee, das ist schon so richtig, glaube ich. Damn it, it's not opening. Wonder if anything I've got might have a hint. I think it should open if I put in the right numbers and turn the key. Ich gehe es nochmal selber durch. Wir haben hier 7463. Das war... Ja, genau, das ist das, was ich eben auch eingegeben habe. Und wenn wir uns das hier ansehen, da ist ja auch nirgendwo anders ein Tipp. Und das Ding ist auf der Rückseite auch nicht. Notes, kann ich die Sachen eigentlich kombinieren? Nö. Sonst ist hier nichts drin. Habe ich hier noch was übersehen? This is totally a stove. Nothing inside though. Die Leiter vielleicht? I can't see the bottom of the ladder. Oh man, the water's already up to the bottom of the bed. Gotta hurry this up. Irgendwas übersehe ich. Ach, es gibt noch das Bett. I can't bring myself to call this a bed. It feels like a board with a sheet on it. It's pretty flat. Aha! Memo from bed. Und damit haben wir es nämlich, was wir brauchen. Das heißt, für Blau haben wir Quadrat und das heißt 0263 müsste es dann sein. 0263. So. 0263. Alright, let's see if these numbers work. I turn off the key and, hey, looks like it's working. Yes. Alright, let's open it up. Yes. It opened. Looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? File screen. If you find any documents or notes during an escape, the information contained in them will be available on the file screen. Press right to open the file screen. Right, let's see what's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in the question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single-digit number, add the digit to one another. For instance, if you have a double-digit number, add the number of in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Es geht im Grunde um eine Quersumme. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single-digit answer. The final single digit is your digital root. Example, the digital root of 678 would be 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21, 7 plus 1 is 3. Also es geht quasi um die Quersumme der Quersumme, bis man nur noch eine einzelne Zahl bekommt. Therefore, the digital root of 678 is 3. Example, the digital root of 1234 would be 10 und 10 ist 1 plus 0 und deshalb 1. So, therefore the digital root of 1234 is 1. I see. So I just keep adding numbers until I get a single digit number. Oh, looks like there's something on the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, a calculator. And a stack of key cards, huh? Stack of blue key cards. New material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. Press left to open the calculator screen. The calculator can also calculate a digital root, which will be important to the progression of the story. Das heißt, wir können tatsächlich hier sowas machen. Oder wir können hier uns entsprechende Sachen ansehen. Was teilweise ganz nett ist. Aber jetzt schauen wir uns nochmal an, was wir für den... Ach, erstmal schauen wir uns die Karten an. Looks like some key cards. There's a number written on each card. 6, 7, 8. Does that mean something? So, jetzt brauchen wir für Rot. Rot beginnt damit, das war, glaube ich, 4, 7? Ne, 7, 4. 7, 4. Und dann haben wir 8, 7, 4, 8, 5. 7, 4, 8, 5. 7, 4, 8, 5. Alright, let's give this another shot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So. Yes. Yes, I unlocked it. It's opening. Stack of red key cards. These look like key cards. There's a number on each one. 1, 2, 3. Kann ich die kombinieren? Nö. Aber wir haben jetzt Schlüsselkarten. Und wir haben Hinweise bekommen. Können wir hier vielleicht was machen? These cards with numbers on them. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide these cards and see if they work. And... Huh? It's not working. Why? Damn it. No, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Nämlich die blauen. Damn it. Not again. There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. Of course. The files. That file said something about a digital route. A digital route. The digital route, huh? What am I supposed to do with... There's a 5 on that door. Do I have to get a digital route of 5? I'm not really sure about this. Whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. I just slide the cards that give me the digital route of 5 through the reader. Operating instructions. Use left stick and A to select 3 cards. The digital route of the selected cards will be displayed. Selecting reset will deselect all currently selected cards. After you've selected 3 cards, use left stick and A to select the device. So. Das heißt, wenn wir jetzt zum Beispiel sagen, wir nehmen das, dann sind wir nämlich hier bei 15, das würde eine 6 geben. Damit kommen wir jetzt nämlich auf 3, was nichts bringt. Restart. Wir wollen auf eine 5. Das heißt, am ehesten brauchen wir also eine 14. Das würde zum Beispiel damit gehen. Weil mit den Zahlen, die wir hatten, wäre es nicht möglich gewesen, eine 23 zu bekommen, aber eine 14 war drin. Alright, I think this is gonna work. There we go. That's a new noise. Huh? Did it just unlock? Well, that light was red and now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go. Und damit haben wir den ersten Escape Room geschafft. Jetzt. Mathe mein Erzfeind steht im Chat. Ich sag mal so, Mathe war eigentlich immer meine Stärke. Ich habe sogar Mathe-Nachhilfe eine ganze Zeit gegeben, sogar im Studium. Auch für andere Studenten. Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out from the room and into the opposing wall.
Ow!
The water tossed and turned him like a washing machine, and he only stopped rolling when he hit his head on the wall.
My head. Wait, is it over? Whew. That felt too much like being flushed down a toilet. Damn.
Junpei struggled to his feet in the still rushing water.
Well, better than drowning, I guess. Am I in a hallway?
The water that had followed him out of the room was rapidly pouring out of the door. It flowed quickly down the hallway and slammed into the foot of the short flight of stairs.
Oh.
Just 5 steps, in fact. And at the top of this short staircase...
A door. Another door. Damn this water. Ugh. Let me go.
Junpei leapt up the stairs, straight for the door. Stair. Ich habe es richtig gesagt, stairs?
Yes,
Yeah.
it opened.
The door burst open and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there have been to what he saw?
What? What the hell?
Tja, das ist ein hübscher Ort, ne? His voice trailed off and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him, ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. Wer sich fragt, was heißt equidistant? Gleicher Abstand. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the walls and pillars. It looked like nothing so much as the entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s.
This is the inside of a ship?
Junpei couldn't help but wonder.
Well...
The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved toward the stairs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally, Wait, what the hell? A wave? Oh, shit! Shit! Okay, I gotta get out of here.
Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran toward the tremendous staircase in front of him.
C deck. B deck. Hurry! Hurry!
As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall denoting the decks of the ship.
A deck's next.
He took the stairs two at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead.
What?
Es gibt andere Menschen. Und hier kommen wir zu einem einzigen Punkt, den ich wirklich an dieser Spielreihe auszusetzen habe. In jedem Teil kommt unbedingt eine stark sexualisierte Frau vor. Es ist augenscheinlich nicht anders möglich, aber das ist so einer Kritikpunkt an diesen Spielen. Aber weiter. Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye.
People.
He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more. Jetzt könnte man sich nicht beschweren dazu. Simulation, eingepflanzte Gedanken, okay, hat sich erledigt. Auch interessant.
A lot of people.
All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They had stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step in the middle of a stride. Who were these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The woman spoke to Junpei, and time began to move again.
I guess it's another one of us now.
A dancer?
The woman was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little and her prodigious jewelry little more.
No, I'm not. You better get moving.
With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei and toward the doors behind him.
Okay then.
The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman.
Silver hair?
Huh?
The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance at Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering,
One of us, huh?
What?
Nothing.
Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed Junpei to see wisps of grey in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion. Übrigens, man kann gerne mal in den Kommentaren da lassen, was ihr von den Design der Charaktere haltet oder was ihr denkt, was das für Charaktere sein könnten.
Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open.
Wait, hold on. The doors won't open?
The next to speak to Junpei was a girl with pink hair and a high voice.
Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry!
Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, almost as though he was sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene. And he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and Junpei couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like.
That's 9 of us then.
Und da kommen wir jetzt... Ich frage mich, wie mir diese Stimme früher nicht auffallen konnte. Das, verehrte Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, ist Taliesin Jaffe, also der Synchronsprecher. Mitglied des Critical Role Casts, also amerikanische Rollenspielshow. Und ich bin großer Fan. Und Taliesin ist durchaus einer der Spieler, die ich sehr sympathisch finde. Und ich wusste nicht, dass er den gesprochen hat, bis ich das vor einer Weile dann irgendwo mal gelesen habe und gedacht habe, Moment, stimmt das? Ich muss mir dieses Spiel nochmal ansehen. Es gab auch andere Gründe, warum ich mir das Spiel nochmal ansehen wollte. Aber ja, dieser Charakter wird von Taliesin Jaffe vertont.
All of the cards are in hand.
Und ja, inzwischen höre ich das auch sowas von raus. Das ist traurig, dass mir das früher nicht aufgefallen ist. Ja gut, früher habe ich noch nicht Critical Role geguckt, aber ich hätte Taliesins Stimme beim Spiel erkennen können. Aber egal. What does that mean? Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him.
Wait! They're gone. Just what is going on? There's an old man like a lion, a girl with pink hair, and a prince, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
He turned just in time to see 2 more people running toward him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him. And the other was a veritable mountain of a man.
Huh.
Das ist nicht mal ein Dialog. Jetzt, einer von denen ist ein Verräter, das kann man dran fühlen. Ja gut, die Frage ist wer und ob das stimmt. Ich werde nichts verraten. The scrawny one scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something.
What was that all about?
Hey! What the hell are you just standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors on A deck are no good. We gotta check the doors on B deck.
Jetzt, schätze mal entweder der Löwe oder der mit den silbernen Haaren, der aussieht wie ein älterer Killua von Hunter x Hunter. Oh. Da kennt jemand, also ich muss sagen, da hat jemand Geschmack. Aber gut, ja, der mit den silbernen Haaren hat ein bisschen was von Killua, aber auch, ja, wenn der älter wäre, vielleicht.
Got it? Now go!
Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way.
Whoa.
Thrown off balance by the man and recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running toward.
Hey man, that was dangerous! Huh?
There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right,
4? And this one says 5.
They're the same.
the guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself.
The room I woke up in had a number on the door just like that.
You too, eh?
With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver.
My cell was the same. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room full of stairs, as I suspected the rest of you.
It was as though the floodgates had been opened. They all began to talk at once.
Me too.
Same for me. There was a door with a number on it.
It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They'd all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they'd been guided here.
Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry.
You think I don't know that lady?
Before the dancer had time to finish, Silver was already running.
Open! Damn it!
He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However,
Fuck, it's not opening. This damn thing won't even budge.
Out of my way!
the mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back, then threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again.
A body slam from a guy that big didn't even budge it. There must be some other way.
Junpei turned toward door 4. Next to the door on the wall was a small box. Jetzt, um uns mal rund zu machen, der Fischerhose sieht aus wie ein klassischer Anime-Handlanger. Ah, ja, der große Typ.
This looks just like the device next to the door in that room earlier. So that means this door is probably locked too. But still...
He had to check. Junpei grabbed a handle and threw all of his weight into it. It was locked as tight as the other door next to it, as he'd suspected.
Damn it!
Junpei punched the door. It did not respond.
Are there any other doors?
He'd barely finished the thought when the sea deck plate he'd passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty or something equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew he'd met her before. The girl too stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well.
Huh?
Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. The quake caught the girl unprepared and she fell.
Watch out!
Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her. Jetzt 10 einer zu viel? Nee, das sind jetzt genau 9. Wir haben den Typ mit der Löwenmähne. Wir haben den Prinzen. Wir haben den Silberhaarigen. Wir haben das Mädchen mit den rosa Haaren. Junpei selbst natürlich. Jetzt haben wir das Mädchen. Wir haben den großen Kerl, wir haben die Tänzerin und wir haben den Typen mit den Wuschelhaaren. Das sind 9, nicht 10. Or so he thought.
Oh.
Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own.
Yeah.
He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment that seemed to stretch for a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. Tolle englische Worte. At last the girl opened her mouth.
Oh my gosh! Is that you, Jumpy?
Jumpy. Jumpy. Words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned.
Akane.
Das ist eine Sache, die ich so ein bisschen blöd finde. Wenn mal japanische Namen vorkommen, werden sie falsch betont. Der Name wird nicht Akane gesprochen, sondern Akane. Aber egal. Why hadn't he realized it before? The girl was Akane Also, wenn man es ganz japanisch aussprechen würde, müsste man sogar den Nachnamen vor dem Vornamen sprechen. Also wäre Kurashiki Akane. Aber in dem Fall Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing in the ship? Erstmal eine kleine Frage. Wenn ich jemand, ja gut, Grundschule geht da 6 Jahre. Ich weiß nicht, wie alt die in Japan sind, wenn die aus der Grundschule rauskommen. Aber jetzt gehen wir davon aus, 6. Klasse ist ja in Deutschland, wie alt ist man da? Moment. Man ist so circa 6 oder 7 in der ersten. Das heißt 11 bis 12 in der 6. Dass man jemanden dann als erwachsene Person noch wiedererkennt? Naja. Her soft eyes were only inches away from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he'd thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At that moment... Adventure Screen? Warum? So. A speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room.
What?
What's that voice?
They hurriedly untangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their 7 companions had heard the voice as well, and many of their faces had gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last they found it. A speaker set in the ceiling. Tja, warum heißt die Reihe wohl Zero Escape, ne? Invited ist definitiv nicht das richtige Wort. The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static.
This is...
Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it?
That guy in the gas mask! Hey, asshole! What the hell is this? Come on out here. I want to get a look at you.
What do you mean to do to us?
I need to have you participate in a game. Some of you I know are familiar with this game. The Nummern game.
Jetzt ist die Frage, was ist damit gemeint, dass einige das Spiel kennen?
It is a game where you put your life on the line.
Nonary game.
What the hell's that?
The voice continued, implacable.
The rules of the Nummern game can be found upon your persons. They are simple rules. Read them.
What is he talking about?
Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out.
Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out similar slips of paper. Welche Taschen hat diese Frau? Egal, ich frag nicht nach. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt a telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from his earlier ordeal.
Hey, I got one too.
Then it would seem Zero has seen fit to grace us each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man?
His request had been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked.
On this ship, you will find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them the numbered doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these numbered doors are the numbered bracelets that each of you possess. Should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute. So this thing on my arm is a bracelet.
He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and had come to much the same conclusion.
The purpose of the game is simple. Leave this ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
There's one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, this ship has begun to sink. On April 14, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into Earth's moon. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 days, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time. 9 hours. That is the time you will be given to make your escape.
The voice finished and the speaker went silent.
I hear a bell. I think it's coming from over by the stairs.
It's the clock telling us the time.
Everyone had their eyes on the antique clock embedded in the wall. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bell faded away. The 10th never came.
It rang 9 times, so 9 o'clock then?
I think it's 9 p.m. I couldn't see anything when I tried looking out the window earlier. It has to be nighttime.
If that is the case, then we would need to escape by 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Now it is time. Let our game begin. I wish you all the best of luck.
The speaker went silent and did not speak again.
Hey! You bastard! What do you mean by that? Come out here, you asshole!
That guy won't stop shouting. And the others.
Ich setze mich mal kurz ein kleines bisschen anders hin. Ja, so.
Whew.
Junpei too was consumed by his thoughts.
I have way too many questions. Who is Zero? What's the Nonary game? What's it for? Is he some nutjob just doing this to mess with us, or does he have some other purpose? Why pick me to be part of this insane game? And the others? Why are these 8 people here? And the most confusing of them all. Why is Akane here? I haven't seen her since elementary school. Why her? Why now? Coincidence? No. There's no way. There has to be a reason. I don't know what exactly, but there has to be.
Very well.
The lion's voice seemed oddly loud in the silence.
Standing around here won't do us any good. Best we get moving, don't you think?
Get moving?
Are you planning to open the numbered doors?
Hey, wait! But don't tell me you're actually gonna do what this Zero says.
No, that's not what I mean.
The lion shook his head, mildly annoyed.
I'm saying let's find another way. After all, we haven't really examined this place yet.
What?
Where have we not looked? Everyone searched A-Deck already, right?
Yeah, we were kind of in a rush though, so we probably missed some things.
Why don't we check out the lower floors first? We should see how deep this place goes.
I can work with that.
Then let's go.
know? It's completely submerged.
Damn. If the water level keeps rising like this, we're all gonna drown.
No, I don't believe that's something we have to worry about.
The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it.
See? The water's not flowing. That means the origin of the water has been stopped. Perhaps this Zero fellow has used some sort of remote control to seal a watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours.
Then you're saying we won't sink till then?
Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point to wishful thinking.
That's depressing.
If we don't determine a way to advance from this point, we are stuck on A deck and C deck.
Looks that way.
Hey, hold on. How about we check C deck before we jump to any conclusions? We might find something there.
Huh, you're right. I think we should look at the metal doors by the big staircase, too. They're pretty suspicious.
No numbers on either door. And I don't see an authentication device either. Nope. It's locked.
This one too. Damn, none of the doors are opening.
Hey guys, over here. There's another door behind the stairs.
This one doesn't open either.
We'll see about that. Hey, old man, give me a hand.
Using force, I see. Let's give it a try. It won't budge.
Could you not just start shouting out of nowhere? You almost gave me a heart attack, you know.
Hatten wir das nicht eben im Chat?
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't appear to have moved even with two of us trying. It's very well made.
Idiots. Try using your brain first.
Huh?
Take a closer look.
A keyhole?
Right. It's obvious what we need to open this door.
A key, huh?
You got a problem?
No, I just really doubt we'll find a key that easily.
Ignoring the tense air between the two, Junpei moved closer to examine the doorknob.
What's this?
Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot.
There's a mark on it. Does it mean something?
Hey, look! Over here, too!
Hmm?
Pink Hair was looking at double doors they hadn't examined yet.
More doors.
I think they're elevators. There's an inverted triangle button by them.
May as well try pressing it. Huh. Nothing.
Maybe the power isn't on.
Or we need to do something with this card reader. And there's a strange mark here, too. What is this? It looks like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the H.
Junpei stared at it for a while. Weiß jemand, was es ist?
This is the symbol of Saturn.
Na gut, wurde schon aufgelöst.
It's an astrological symbol.
Then the mark on the other door.
I think that was the sun symbol. We saw the same symbols on A deck.
We did?
I don't remember that.
A deck, huh? Huh. I haven't been there, so I wouldn't know.
We may as well check again since we're talking about it.
Lion's words urged them on, and they took the stairs up.
There, the two doors next to the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it.
She's right. It looks similar to what we saw downstairs.
This is an Earth symbol. The horizontal line symbolizes the equator, and the vertical one represents the prime meridian.
I see.
Junpei looked up at the ceiling.
The ceiling. Metal plates. Huh. It's as if it's covering something up.
Perhaps it was a dome of some kind.
I wish we could get out through there.
Be realistic. We'd need a lot of explosives to open that up.
The windows, too. Huh, they're all covered.
There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They too were covered with metal plates.
In other words,
Jetzt, es steht noch was im Chat. Wenn ich mich frage, warum drücken die auf die Knöpfe? Wann war Knöpfe drücken je gut? Nein, von mir wäre das zum Saturn ein Nein gewesen. Okay. Auch nicht.
we're trapped. All the exits go nowhere.
Junpei was not happy. The girl with pink hair spoke up.
Well, I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them.
Then the mountain spoke.
You don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls or take us in circles.
The prince did not agree.
No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, 2 of them at least.
Oh, you mean the numbered doors.
Übrigens, eine Sache möchte ich nochmal kurz anmerken. Ich kann sagen, es hat mit jedem dieser Charaktere irgendwas auf sich. Jeder dieser Charaktere hat irgendwelche Geheimnisse, die irgendwann auch rauskommen können. Achtet mal wirklich darauf, wie sich die Charaktere ausdrücken, wie sie sich bewegen, etc. Da kann man schon einiges eventuell erkennen. All eyes turned toward the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that.
The dancer moved in front of the doors, as if to block them.
We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do.
Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once.
May as well give it a shot. We can't stay here forever.
Yes, I'm in favor as well.
No, I'm totally against this.
But shouldn't we at least try?
We don't know what'll happen. We should stay here.
We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, this ship is going to sink.
The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. Their arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another.
Hey, shut up!
They fell silent and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch.
Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do.
What's that?
We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, why you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too.
They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. It was Akane.
I agree. I think Jumpy is right.
Jumpy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about him. I just call him Jumpy. His name is Junpei.
She pointed towards Junpei.
We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school.
Wait, stop! Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zero's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in?
Oh, would that be bad?
Hell yeah, it would! We don't know how much that bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had them to get us to do stuff, you know?
But we still need to know what our names are. It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names.
Alright, then why don't we have code names?
To him, apparently, it seemed like the obvious solution.
Code names?
Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7.
7? Why are you 7?
It seemed a fair question. The mountain stuck out his left arm.
Because this bracelet number says 7.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
He smirked.
Alright, I'm gonna be Santa.
Übrigens, was die Namen angeht, die haben im japanischen Original natürlich andere Spitznamen, aber auch nicht alle. Und ich kann auch immer sagen, wo die herkommen. Zum Beispiel bei Seven und Santa, die haben auch im Japanischen genau diese Namen. Woher Santa kommt,
Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, San means 3. So, I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think?
Das ist genau der Grund, warum der auch im Japanischen Santa heißt.
Then your bracelet number.
Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa.
Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the face of his bracelet read 3.
Very well then. I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate.
Im Japanischen nennt er sich, glaube ich, Ichimiya, aber Ichi ist 1. Aber ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, ob es Ichimiya oder irgendwas anderes mit Ichi war. Auf jeden Fall was mit Ichi.
I'll be Lotus then. As I'm sure you all know, it has 8 petals.
Erstens, das gilt nur in der Heraldik. Echte Lotusblüten haben mehr als 8 Blätter. Aber das ist tatsächlich eine Sache, die insbesondere in der Mythologie und Heraldik eine wichtige Rolle spielt. Das heißt, bei irgendwelchen Symbolen hat ein Lotus meistens 8 Blätter. Im Japanischen Hachi irgendwas, ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, aber Hachi ist 8.
Which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8.
I would appreciate it if you would call me Snake. My bracelet number is 2. Since Ace has chosen cards, then I choose dice. Snake eyes, clearly. Which is particularly relevant given that I am blind.
Übrigens, im Japanischen nennt er sich Niels. Angeblich nach Niels Bohr, also dem Wissenschaftler. Allerdings auch, weil das japanische Wort für 2 nie ist. Aber hier heißt das Snake.
You can't see?
I knew it.
He'd kept his eyes closed during the entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange, but to hear it said so casually? It was something out of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it.
Me next!
There was one person, however, who didn't seem to be surprised in the least. The girl with pink hair.
I want to be Clover. You know, like a 4-leaf clover. Good luck, right?
So heißt die übrigens auch im Englischen. Meine ich. Oder nee, nicht im Englischen, im Japanischen. Wobei nicht ganz Clover, aber irgendetwas, was eben auf ein 4-blättriges Kleeblatt anspielt. Looking almost bored, she held out her left hand. The face of her bracelet showed the number 4. They'd come around to Junpei. He held out his bracelet.
Alright, my number's 5. So my code name is gonna be...
Why have one? It's not like there's any point to it now.
The dancer cut him off in mid-sentence.
I mean, we all know your name already. You're Junpei.
Oh, yeah.
Tja, arme Sau. They all nodded. Akane stepped forward nervously.
Then you should all call me by my name too. Because, I mean, it doesn't seem...
It doesn't seem fair to Jumpy.
You're thinking it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his.
Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something.
What's your bracelet number?
It's 6.
She hesitated for a moment, then held out her left hand. As she'd claimed, the bracelet's face showed a 6. Junpei looked at it for a moment and thought.
Alright then, why don't we call you June?
Im Japanischen übrigens, sie hat June wegen Juni, 6. Monat im Jahr. Im Japanischen trägt die quasi einen Namen, der übersetzt so viel wie Violett bedeutet, weil nach der Vorstellung Violett die 6. Farbe des Regenbogens ist, weil die quasi eine einfach überspringen.
June?
Yeah, you know, it's the 6th month of the year. So you're June.
Jumpy?
Akane kneaded her hands and looked up at Junpei, uncertain. He smiled back at her reassuringly.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
She thought about it for a few more minutes, then seemed to come to a decision and gave Junpei a small nod. Jetzt die Frage, spreche ich fließend Japanisch? Nein, absolut nicht. Ich besitze gefährliches Halbwissen über die japanische Sprache und kann zumindest ein bisschen zählen. Also ich kann bis 9999. Das wäre, Moment, Men, Hyaku, Kyuju. Aber das ist einfach daran, dass das japanische Zählsystem extrem einfach ist. Ich habe mich da einfach mal aus Neugier mit befasst, aber ich spreche kein Japanisch. Ich kann keinen japanischen Satz bilden oder sowas. Ich kenne mich ein bisschen aus mit Sachen wie einzelnen Begriffen und ich kenne ein paar Sachen, zum Beispiel was die Wahl von Pronomen angeht und die Wahl von Suffixen, die man an Personennamen anfügt. Denn das ist tatsächlich eine Sache in der japanischen Sprache wohl. Alles ist sehr stark mit Statusbewusstsein geprägt. Das heißt, wenn man jemanden anspricht, verwendet man ein Suffix, also eine Endung, die man an den Namen anhängt, die angibt, was für einen Status die andere Person einem gegenüber hat. Das heißt zum Beispiel typischerweise, wenn man eine Person anredet, eine erwachsene Person, die man nicht kennt, hängt man San an, also ähnlich wie die Zahl 3. Nur halt heißt in diesem Fall so viel wie Herr, Frau, so und so. Wenn man das an den Vornamen anhängt, statt an den Nachnamen, ist es schon was, womit man zeigt, okay, man kennt sich ein bisschen. Man ist so auf einer Du-Ebene im Wesentlichen. Wenn man Leute ohne Suffix anspricht, dann sind das enge Freunde. Dann gibt es zum Beispiel auch Chan, was eine Verniedlichung ist. Das hängt man eigentlich so ziemlich nie an Nachnamen an, sondern immer nur an Vornamen. Und ist eigentlich für Jungs ab einem gewissen Alter schon eine Beleidigung. Dann gibt es zum Beispiel Kun, was ein Begriff ist, den entweder Lehrer für Schüler oder Chefs für Mitarbeiter verwenden. Oder generell in einem Arbeitsumfeld wird das gerne verwendet. Aber das ist halt für Gleichgestellte oder niedriger Gestellte. Dann gibt es zum Beispiel auch Sama, was so eine ehrwürdige Anrede ist, was aber keine Sau verwendet außerhalb von irgendeinem besonderen Kontext. Noch altertümlicher wäre Dono und sowas, aber das kommt davon, wenn man einfach zu viel Anime in seiner Jugend geguckt hat. Was gab es sonst noch Schönes? Das finde ich im Japanischen auch nämlich faszinierend. Es gibt unzählige Worte für zum Beispiel das Pronomen Ich. Das heißt zum Beispiel, wenn ich jetzt Japanisch reden würde, nicht, dass ich es kann, aber es ist so, es gibt im Japanischen, wie gesagt, verschiedenste Worte für Ich. Und für mich als Mann wäre es zum Beispiel so, ich müsste je nach Kontext, in dem ich mich befinde, zwischen so 3 geläufigen Pronomen zum Beispiel unterscheiden. Einmal Watashi, das ist quasi das, was man im Duden findet, wenn man einfach Ich auf Japanisch übersetzt. Watashi heißt halt wirklich auch Ich, ist aber etwas, was man in einem Kontext verwendet, der entweder besonders höflich ist. Das heißt, wenn ich zum Beispiel mit meinem Chef reden würde, würde ich Watashi verwenden oder wenn ich eine öffentliche Rede halten würde. Allerdings in einem weniger höflichen oder aufgeputzten Kontext würde das für mich, wenn ich als Mann Watashi verwende, entweder geschwollen oder feminin klingen. Weil das ist auch so eine Sache, Frauen reden im Japanischen tendenziell eine Ecke höflicher als Männer, auch im Privaten. Was ein bisschen komisch ist, aber so ist es halt. Die haben dann noch sehr starkes Geschlechterbewusstsein, was in die Sprache quasi zementiert ist. Andere Sachen wären zum Beispiel Boku und Ore. Das sind weniger förmliche Ich-Versionen, die eigentlich auch nur von Männern verwendet werden. Während Boku zum Beispiel eine eher zurückhaltendere, freundliche Version von Ich ist, ist Ore mehr so eine selbstsichere und aktivere, männlichere Version von Ich. Dann gibt es zum Beispiel noch Atashi, was eine eine Art Version von Watashi ist, wo man sich selbst ein bisschen herabsetzt. Dann gibt es Dialektversionen von den verschiedenen Worten. Es gibt zum Beispiel Eura, was mehr so eine, wie soll man sagen, das ist so das Icke des Japanischen. Das gibt es auch noch. Also das sind so Sachen, die ich irgendwo mal aufgeschnappt habe. Und das Lustige ist, alles, was ich jetzt gerade über Ich gesagt habe, gibt es dann auch noch für zum Beispiel Du. Zum Beispiel Anata ist ein höfliches Du. Kimi ist, wenn man zum Beispiel selber für sich in einem Kontext Boku verwendet, wird man für sein Gegenüber typischerweise Kimi verwenden. Dann gibt es aber auch noch eine ganze Menge mehr. Und das ist faszinierend, aber auch extrem kompliziert. Ich finde es lustig, dass es wohl angeblich sehr einfach sein soll, einen japanischen Satz zu formen, aber durch den ganzen Kontext, der in allem überall mit drin schwingt, ist es so, dass es nicht unbedingt einfach ist, Japanisch zu verstehen. Und ich habe nie versucht, Japanisch zu lernen, gebe ich offen zu. Ich kann so ein paar Sachen einfach von der Aussprache gut, weil das japanische R ist halt zum Beispiel dem italienischen gar nicht so unähnlich. Dieses jetzt nicht mit der Zunge gerollte, das kriege ich zum Beispiel nicht hin, aber dieses mit der Zunge angeschlagene. Also dieses R, das kriege ich hin. Und halt so dieses Zwischending aus U und Ü, das gerne mal so, je nach Dialekt, da so ein bisschen vorkommt. Aber gut, genug Japanisch-Stunde hat ja eh nichts wirklich gebracht. Was ich damit sagen möchte, ist einfach, ich finde es faszinierend, dass in der Sprache sich dann auch so diese... Also ich glaube, Sprache zementiert auch so ein bisschen Mentalität. Was vielleicht auch der Grund ist, warum man in den skandinavischen Sprachen, wo es überhaupt keine Höflichkeitsform gibt, deutlich flachere Hierarchien tendenziell hat, als zum Beispiel im Japanischen, wo halt das Denken teilweise wohl auch noch sehr hierarchisch ist und ein sehr starkes Statusbewusstsein existiert. Und ich finde es wirklich faszinierend. Also klar, ostasiatische Kulturen sind definitiv sehr unterschiedlich zu unseren europäischen Kulturen und selbst die unterscheiden sich ja gewaltig. Von daher, genug über Sprache, weiter geht's. Jetzt, im Gegensatz zu Mathe sind Sprachen bei mir ganz gut, aber trotz der Animes im Originalton habe ich mich da nie für interessiert. Ja, ich bin so ein Typ, der immer wieder irgendwelche Spezialinteressen hat, dann da kurz in Tiefe eintaucht, sich eine Menge Halbwissen aneignet und dann bleibt das drin. Das ist bei mir wirklich so eine Sache. Ich bin unglaublich gut darin, mir unnützes Zeug zu merken, das ich niemals brauchen werde. Zum Beispiel, das war so eine Sache, die war bei mir mit so 15, glaube ich, irgendwann in der Pubertät, wo ich mich gefragt habe, hör mal, was hat es eigentlich mit diesen Zahlen-Buchstaben-Kombinationen bei Körbchengrößen auf sich? Was bedeuten die überhaupt? Ich konnte mir nämlich darunter nie irgendwas vorstellen. Was habe ich also gemacht? Wikipedia aufgemacht und bis heute habe ich drin, wie man eine verdammte BH-Größe ausrechnet. Zumindest im europäischen System, also im metrischen. Das heißt, ich könnte bis heute mit einem Maßband das ermitteln. Ich habe es nie gebraucht. Aber ich weiß mehr über Körbchengrößen als Frauen. Einfach nur, weil ich es mir in der Pubertät mal angeguckt habe. Warum ist mein Hirn so ein Schwamm für unnützes Wissen? Ich weiß es nicht. Aber gut, machen wir mal weiter. Genug über irgendeinen anderen Kram gelabert. Das Spiel kann ja auch mal weitergehen.
Okay then.
The names decided, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head.
So this is how everyone breaks down. 1 is Ace. 2 is Snake. 3 is Santa. 4 is Clover. 5 is me. 6 is June. 7 is 7. And 8 is Lotus.
Jetzt zu dem Kommentar, der perfekte Herrenschneider, was das angeht. Das war richtig ätzend, als ich mein Abi gemacht habe. Ich bin da nämlich dann auch entsprechend zum Herrenausstatter gegangen, weil man braucht dann ja zumindest ein Jackett oder sowas. Was war das Ergebnis? Ein Herrenausstatter hatte nichts, was mir passte. Nicht etwa, weil ich so ein großer, mächtiger Typ bin. Nee, ganz im Gegenteil. Ich bin halt klein. Ich bin 1,68 Meter und zu dem Zeitpunkt war ich auch noch ein bisschen schmaler gebaut als jetzt. Also ich bin durch ein bisschen mehr Sport und sowas auch in den letzten Jahren so ein kleines bisschen mehr in die Breite gegangen, aber ich bin halt auch kein Schrank. Dennoch war es halt so, ich hatte ja auch keine Kinderproportionen mehr. Das heißt, das, was der für mich hatte, war alles entweder zu schmal oder zu lang. Und ich möchte kurz sagen, das war ein Herrenausstatter. Die Mode kennt keine kleinen Männer, die nicht entweder komplett untersetzt und damit verdammt breit sind, oder, wie soll man sagen, oder halt schmale Männer, die nicht lang gezogen sind. Es ist richtig ätzend für mich, in meiner Größe passende Oberbekleidung zu finden. Also klar, T-Shirts oder sowas sind kein Problem, weil die haben halt keine langen Ärmel. Oh, aber was habe ich schon an Hemden gesessen? Vor allem Hosen sind für mich richtig ätzend auch. Weil ich trage halt Hosen so typischerweise weite Länge 30 Zoll. Das ist schwierig zu finden, zumindest in so einem Textildiscounter oder sowas. Also ich gehe meistens in so ein typisches Jeanshaus, weil ich mag halt Jeans. Aber manchmal brauche ich halt auch andere Hosen und dann ist es immer ein Schlauch. Ja, knapp 1,70, da sind wir ja ähnlich groß. Passt ja.
That means 8 of us have revealed our bracelet numbers. The only one left is...
That glasses guy with hair like a bird's nest.
You haven't said a thing so far, have you?
His skin was pale, his breathing was heavy, and he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he had only a fingertip's worth of a grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly. She put her hands on her hips and eyed him suspiciously.
What number are you?
He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes twitched from person to person and his breath came in hot pants. Das klingt falsch.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like old paper.
Isn't it obvious? There are 9 people here. And you know who numbers 1 through 8 are. I'm the only one left.
So you're 9?
Yeah.
He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet did indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously.
What's your code name?
Code name?
What do you want us to call you? We all made up names. You should too.
I don't need one.
Why not?
Because I am not gonna stay here with you.
He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust.
You've got some sort of plan?
I do.
Yeah? What's that?
You sure you want to know?
Yeah?
All right, let me show you. I'm gonna do this!
By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he had slid around behind her and wrapped his arm around her waist.
Hey! What the hell do you think you're doing?
Silver, a Santa, leapt forward toward Clover and the 9th man. He was halfway there when...
Stay back!
Suddenly, the man's hand dove into his pocket.
Ah!
He held it to Clover's pale, quivering neck.
If you get any closer, I'll cut her open! Yeah, that's right.
The man's smile was neither friendly nor reassuring. Sweat poured down his neck, soaking the collar of his shirt.
Clover, are you all right?
The prince, Snake's voice sounded oddly concerned.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Her voice shook, making her words even less convincing.
What the hell are you trying to do? I told you. This is my plan.
What are you gonna do to her, you sick son of a bitch?
Don't worry. I'm not gonna do anything to her. If she just does what I tell her to, I'll let her go.
He started to move backwards slowly, keeping his grip on Clover.
Slowly. That's right. Just follow me.
Keeping their distance, Junpei and the others followed. Eventually, the man reached the wall. He gave a start as his back touched it, then glanced around quickly and spoke.
Here. Verify. The left. Look on your left. Do you see the device on the wall? Place your hand on the scanner panel, the round part.
What if I don't?
The man's nostrils flared as he looked like he was about to choke.
Are you an idiot? What do you think? I could slit your throat right now. I'll kill you if I have to. All I need is your bracelet. Just do it. Do it now.
He pressed the knife against Clover's neck, hard.
Okay, I'll do it.
Slowly, she stretched her left hand out toward the device.
Like this?
Her back was to it, and I had to feel around for a moment before she found the circular panel. It made a cold electronic noise, and on the display above her hand, an asterisk appeared.
So that's how it works. He called that round part of the device the scanner panel. If we put our left hand on it, our bracelet number gets entered into the device. Then, should you total the numbers on your numbered bracelets and find that the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open.
Junpei shifted his eyes to the door itself. The number on it was 5.
Door 5. But why does this guy know so much about how this thing works? It's like he knows exactly what to do.
Good. Good. You're done. Next.
His bloodshot eyes crept from person to person until finally they stopped on the lion, Ace.
You, right? You're the one with the number 1 bracelet, right?
Yes, I am. So?
Then you're next. Just verify your number like this little brat did. What are you doing? Do it! Don't you care what happens to her?
Okay, just calm down.
Ace held up his hands, palms out. The 9th man jerked his chin toward the device.
I'm coming over.
Slowly, cautiously, Ace moved toward the device. After what seemed like an agonizing eternity, he reached it.
Now, verify.
All right, this is what you wanted, right?
Ace nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. The device beeped again, and a second asterisk appeared.
Now the device has both Clover and Ace's numbers, 4 and 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. It's the same as the number written on the door, but it won't open yet. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. One more person. If what Zero said is true, he needs one more person. Who? Who does he need?
Get back.
His voice shook, but the knife he held to Clover's throat made his words a command. Ace took 2, then 3 steps back.
No! Farther! More than that! Go all the way back!
Okay.
Slowly, Ace did what he was told. The 9th man's lips curled into a cruel, twisted smile.
Wait, don't tell me.
That was when Junpei understood his plan.
Clover's 4 and Ace's 1. Added to the 9th man's 9. 4 plus 1 plus 9 is 14. And the digital root of 14, 1 plus 4, is 5. In other words...
Thank God you were all so cooperative. Now I can get out of this nightmare.
He pressed his own hand against the scanner panel. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. He dropped his hand to the lever on the side of the device and pulled. The door opened with a heavy metallic groan.
Good! I don't need you anymore.
He let go of Clover.
Wait!
Junpei leapt toward the 9th man, but he wasn't fast enough.
Here! She's all yours!
The man shoved Clover and hopped through the door.
Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then. Goodbye!
He He raised his hand and waved, a twisted smirk on his face. Then he was gone. The door ground shut with a dull clang of metal on metal.
Clover, are you all right?
Snake ran to Clover's side as she lay on the floor.
Yeah, I'm fine.
She climbed unsteadily to her feet, and once there, leaned heavily on Snake's shoulder for support.
Damn it!
Junpei ran to the door.
That bastard!
The others followed him. Several pairs of hands grabbed hold of the handles and pulled.
Open, damn it!
They grunted and strained, but
Shit! It won't budge.
that was when Lotus, the dancer, spoke. Her voice was quiet.
Do you hear something?
Like, what?
Like some sort of beeping.
Junpei pressed his ear against the cold metal of the door. The others did the same.
You're right. I can hear it too.
What is it?
Then they heard something else. It was the ninth man.
Why isn't it stopping? God damn it! You lied!
Lied?
This wasn't supposed to happen! This is wrong! This is wrong!
His voice shook with fear. Safe on the outside, they stepped back from the door and looked at one another.
What is happening in there?
Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Get me out of here!
Ah, God damn it!
Junpei grabbed hold of the device. He slammed his hand on the scanner panel. Nothing happened.
Why? Why won't it work? Engaged? Is it because it's occupied?
Oh my god, oh my god! There's no time left! Listen, I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him!
The explosion rocked the room. Instinctively, they ducked, then stood up slowly when they realized there was no danger. No one spoke. Silence filled the room.
A beep?
All eyes turned toward it.
Did that thing just make that sound?
The display changed from engaged to vacant.
Um mal kurz auf den Chat einzugehen, ja, das war eine Bombenstimmung. Die Frage ist nur, wer ist mit er gemeint? Irgendjemand hat ihn angelogen, hat er gesagt. Die Frage ist, wer?
Let's see if we can open it.
7. The mountain swallowed hard.
Okay.
Junpei nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. A red asterisk appeared on the LCD panel.
Well, it registered my bracelet number. But it won't open with one person. We need at least 2 more people.
What to do? Ace and Lotus, Snake and 7, Santa and June. Warum auch immer mir das hier ausgegraut angezeigt wird. Na komm, nehmen wir Snake and 7. Das ist eigentlich eine Sache, die spielt keine große Rolle.
Snake, 7. You think you could give me a hand here?
The pun was a little too on the nose, but the mood was still grim. Both Santa and June lifted their hands silently. He verified, and then she followed suit.
5 plus 2 plus 7 equals 14. The digital root of 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. This should do it. Now we just need to pull the lever on the side. You guys ready? I'm gonna open it.
Junpei grabbed at the lever and looked back over his shoulder. They stiffened and nodded. Junpei nodded back and set his mouth in a grim line. Then he slowly lowered the lever. Die Flecken waren vorher nicht auf der Tür. There was a metallic groan and the door slid open. A breath of air drifted out of it, carrying a stench that nearly made them gag. Junpei grimaced and put a hand over his mouth.
Oh my god.
Good God.
Lotus and Ace shuddered. Seven grunted.
Whoa, that's pretty bad.
Even Santa's voice shook.
He blew up.
It appeared that Santa was right. The hallway on the other side of the door was splattered with chunks of torn flesh and dark red blood. The shriek echoed across the room. It had come from June. Then her strength left her and she dropped. As Junpei turned to catch her, the door groaned shut. She crumpled to the floor.
June, are you okay?
Junpei dropped to his knees and put his arm around her shoulders. That was when he noticed her whole body was feverish. She was radiating intense heat.
What the hell? Where'd this fever come from?
June didn't answer. Her face looked like wax, and her whole body began to shake.
All right, okay, let's just rest for a minute, okay? You think you can walk?
She nodded weakly. Junpei lifted June to her feet and guided her to a nearby chair.
Here we go.
As gently as he could, he set her down in it.
How are you feeling? Are you all right?
She nodded, and as she did, a single huge tear rolled down the side of her face.
Why? Why did this happen?
Her voice cracked, broken by misery and grief and choked by sobs.
Why did this happen?
Junpei spun around.
Do any of you know what the fuck is going on here? Who's Zero? What's this nonary game? Come on! Anybody? Anything? What the hell is going on? What are we doing here?
No one spoke. Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover, Seven, and Lotus. They simply stood there, 7 pairs of downcast eyes and 7 grim lines for mouths. June's body shook with silent sobs. They slowed as the minutes They slowed as the minutes ticked by, and eventually they stopped. Then suddenly, in the cold, heavy silence that had enveloped them like a thick fog, a bell began to ring. The clock in the central hall. 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And then on the 10th ring, it stopped. The sound of the bell faded away into silence.
It's 10 o'clock then.
Ace said what each of them had been thinking.
That means it's been an hour since Zero's little announcement.
Seven's deep voice echoed across the room.
Fuck! I've had enough of this crap!
Santa leapt to his feet, his fists clenched.
How long are we gonna pussyfoot around like this?
We've only got 8 hours until this time limit Zero was going on about is up! Let's get going already! Go! Go!
Santa's outburst fell on deaf ears. No one seemed to agree with him. They stared back at him, their eyes blank and their faces tired. Finally, Lotus spoke.
No, I refuse. I'm not gonna end up like him.
Him? You mean the ninth man?
Of course, who else?
In his mind's eye, Junpei saw the corpse again.
Blood. Oh. Blood and pieces of flesh.
The dark, reddish-black pool of blood. The scattered pieces of flesh. Organs strewn across the floor like the blossoming of a grotesque flower. The explosion that had torn through his body had been powerful.
That's no way for a person to die.
The ninth man's neck had been twisted at an odd angle. Junpei suspected the detonation had thrown him against the wall. Half of his face was crushed and the other half was covered in blood. Most of his abdomen had been emptied, either by the explosion or by gravity. He had landed on his back and stark white ribs jutted up out of his chest like the legs of some sort of macabre crab. Junpei felt something flip in his stomach.
I think he just screwed up.
Ich möchte kurz anmerken, ihr merkt, die Beschreibungen sind teilweise sehr bildhaft. Man merkt, man muss nicht unbedingt etwas sehen, damit es einen mitnimmt. Und das finde ich an der Reihe auch gut. Eyebrows went up and Santa continued.
He probably set off some sort of trap and that killed him. I'm not gonna screw up like that. I'm getting out of here alive.
Whatever snake was laughing at, Santa did not find particularly humorous.
What's so goddamn funny?
Oh, my apologies. You were just, so very confident. I couldn't help myself.
Boah, man hört in dem Moment so sehr, dass Taliesin auch Percy gespielt hat oder gesprochen hat. Vielleicht kennen Leute, die gerade zugucken, die Serie The Legend of Vox Machina, die vor einer Weile rauskam auf Amazon Prime. Das ist eine Serie zur ersten Critical Role-Kampagne und da sprechen die Leute auch selbst ihre eigenen Charaktere, die sie in der Kampagne gespielt haben. Und Taliesin, der Kerl, der hier Snake spricht, spielte da halt Percy und das ist ein ziemlicher Aristokrat. Und das hört man da sehr gut raus.
What the fuck?
I think you've mistaken the situation.
Huh?
The ninth man's death. It had nothing to do with the trap. Or at least not the sort of trap you imagine it did.
Then?
He broke one of Zero's rules. That was why he died. Quite simple if you think about it.
Huh?
You still don't... All right. How about you take a moment and think back to what Zero said? Specifically, what did he say about the number of people?
He said only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door, right?
And after that? You've forgotten the relevant part. What did Zero say?
Santa furrowed his brow in thought. Junpei thought back. Zero said, it's that only 2 people can go through, that everyone who verified had to go, oder more than 6 people can go through. Weil ich in einem anderen Spielstand augenscheinlich das schon gespielt habe, werden hier einige Sachen ausgegraut angezeigt, wie ich schon mal benutzt habe. Aber es ist ziemlich eindeutig.
All those who enter must leave, and all who enter must contribute, right? I think it was something like that. Whatever it was, it means that groups of less than 3 or more than 5 can't go through.
That is correct. A gold star for you, Junpei.
Snake inclined his head toward Junpei.
The ninth man, however, broke that rule. He tried to pass through a numbered door by himself. That was why he was executed.
And Zero's watching us from somewhere. Making sure we don't break any rules.
Oh, I'm not so sure of that.
Why not?
Because this execution system is entirely automatic. You didn't notice? There's no need for him to monitor us.
What do you mean?
Snake looked at Seven with what could only be described as pity and sighed.
Very well. I see it must be me who tells you.
Eigentlich, dieses looked passt ja auch nicht ganz. Snake ist ja blind, aber egal.
I've waited long enough, I suppose. I had hoped Zero might spare me the trouble, but that seems increasingly unlikely.
He couldn't see them, of course, but perhaps Snake sensed the confused eyes upon him. When Ace spoke, he gave words to everyone else's thoughts.
Do you know something?
Well, I know a great many things, but yes.
What is it you know?
Here.
Snake removed a card from the pocket of his jacket.
A card? What does it say?
See for yourself.
With a flourish, he presented it to Ace, who took a close look at it and spoke.
Come on now, what's the point of giving me this?
Give me that.
Santa snatched the card from Ace, but his expression of disgust quickly turned to one of confusion.
Huh? The hell is this?
Seven tugged it out of Santa's hands.
I see.
The card went from Seven to Lotus, and from Lotus to June, and finally to Junpei. He looked at it and understood.
This is Braille.
Yep, Blindenschrift. Braille, the written language of the blind. The card was covered with small embossed bumps. Junpei could recognize it, but he clearly couldn't read it.
Sorry, guys, I can't read this. Here, have it back.
Junpei handed the card back to Snake, who nodded at him with a small smirk.
Okay, that was fun. What's so important about that card?
I found it in my pocket. I can only assume it is a message from Zero.
From Zero?
A message?
What does it say?
Suddenly, everyone was crowding around Snake, desperate to hear what the message said. Santa especially looked as if he were about to grab hold of Snake and shake the answers from him. Snake raised his hand.
Calm down now. No need to panic. You don't need to force me. I'll read it.
Ich möchte kurz anmerken, was den Witz angeht, der jetzt gerade im Chat steht, 42 als Antwort auf alles. Erstmal, womit sollen die es denn malen? Und zweitens, ich glaube nicht, dass das die Regeln überschreibt. Außerdem, dann würde es ja wieder auf die Quersumme von 6 rauslaufen. Junpei swallowed hard and waited for him to start. He was not the only one. Presently, Snake began to read, his voice calm. His fingers glided over the tiny bumps as he spoke.
Bracelet number 2. Since you are not blessed with sight, I shall bless you, and only you, with information. I shall tell you of the function of the red, of the dead, and of the bracelet.
The red is the recognition device. It will verify your number. Beside every numbered door, you will find a red. The dead is the deactivation device. It does exactly what it says. Once you have passed through the numbered door, you must use the dead to stop the detonator in your bracelet. But perhaps you are wondering, what does this detonator detonate? I am afraid this might be something of a surprise. I have placed a small bomb inside of you and people whom you are about to meet. You swallowed it while you were unconscious. I have no doubt by the time you read this note, the bomb will have passed your stomach and found its way to your small intestine. In other words, you will be unable to regurgitate it. I suggest you do not try. As I mentioned before, the bracelet on your left hand contains a detonator. Think of it as a remote fuse or timer for the bomb in your body. There is only one condition which will cause it to detonate. That condition is that you enter a numbered door. Once you have done so, the timer will activate, no matter who you may be.
Oh, erstmal kurz zu dem Kommentar im Chat. Wieder nein. War vor 5 Jahren schon bei den ersten Let's Play dabei, weiß auch, wie ich mir die Spiele danach aus dem geholt habe, aber nicht gespielt habe. Ja gut, immerhin hast du unterstützt. Also ich persönlich finde halt die Reihe einfach grandios. Und weil es so lange her ist und so wenige Leute eigentlich davon was mitbekommen haben, das war ja bevor mein Kanal so ein bisschen aufgeblüht ist durch zum Beispiel meine LOL-Inhalte. Und da habe ich gesagt, komm, jetzt willst du das auch noch mal ein paar mehr Leuten zeigen. Und deshalb habe ich gesagt, jetzt mache ich das dann auch live mit Zuschauerschaft. Und ja, ich liebe diese Reihe einfach. Und ich kann auch jedem nur empfehlen, der diese Reihe bei mir im Stream findet und sagt, hey, das klingt cool, spiel's im Zweifel selbst. Also ist im Zweifel sogar noch besser, aber ich freue mich natürlich auch immer über Publikum, insbesondere, weil ich dann ja auch sagen kann, hey, gerade bei Entscheidungen, welche Entscheidung würdet ihr treffen? Das finde ich dann immer sehr schön, wenn Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer dabei sind.
You will have 81 seconds. If, after that time, the detonator has not been deactivated, it will send a signal to the bomb in your body, instructing it to explode. In order to deactivate the detonator, every person who verified their number at the red must also verify their numbers at the dead. Once all numbers have been verified by the dead, you need only pull the lever at its side, and the countdown will cease. Anyone who does not verify their number at the red will find themselves unable to verify their number at the dead. That is to say, if you should pass through a numbered door without first verifying your number at the red, in 81 seconds, you will be dead. You must also keep in mind that the numbered doors will close automatically after 9 seconds have passed. So long as the doors open, the dead will not function. You would do well to remember this. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that Warren's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. There is no other way to remove your bracelet. If you attempt to force it off or disable the detonator, the bomb within you will immediately explode.
This is all the information which I can impart to you. How you choose to use it is for you to decide. If used wisely, you can eliminate those who might be a danger to you. For a time, you would be able to control your fate. I wish you the best of luck.
Mit anderen Worten, man muss entsprechend, bevor man durch eine Tür geht, sich registrieren und dann an dem Deaktivierungsgerät sich ebenfalls registrieren, und zwar mit allen anderen, die schon die Tür überhaupt aktiviert haben, um die Bombe zu deaktivieren. Denn die Bombe wird immer dann angeschmissen, beziehungsweise das Armband bekommt immer dann ein Signal, wenn man durch die Tür geht, so, jetzt bereiten wir einen Timer vor. Und nach 81 Sekunden sagt das Ding, kaboom, und du hast ein Problem. Also, wenn man durch eine Tür geht, ohne sich vorher zu registrieren, kann man auch nicht am Deaktivator was machen. Und wenn nicht alle durch die Tür gehen, dann haben auch die, die durch die Tür gegangen sind, ein Problem. Aber weiter. Snake finished reading and carefully returned the card to his pocket.
So it's saying only those who verify their numbers at the red can pass through the numbered doors.
Übrigens, bei dem, was jetzt gerade geschrieben wurde, ist es theoretisch möglich, den Herzschlag auf 0 zu senken und danach wiederbelebt zu werden. Rein theoretisch wäre das möglich, ja. Ob das vorkommt, ist die Frage.
Teams can't add or subtract people after they're scanned in. The Reds, Deads, and Bracelets enforce the rules. They're judge, jury, and executioner.
Ich werde aber noch eine Kleinigkeit dazu sagen, mit diesem den Herzschlag auf 0 bringen und dann wiederbeleben. Das Problem daran ist, wenn dein Herzschlag auf 0 fällt, dann hat dein Hirn in diesem Moment ja relativ schnell keinen Sauerstoff mehr. Das heißt, dass du sehr schnell bleibende Schäden davon trägst. Das finde ich auch immer so interessant, dass Leute bei Wiederbelebungen eigentlich meistens ohne Schäden in Filmen, Serien etc. davonkommen. Obwohl tatsächlich selbst bei kürzester Zeit kein Herzschlag schon Hirnschäden auftreten können. Wenn man Glück hat, geht alles gut. Aber ich kann es mal so sagen, mein Vater hatte mal kurz einen Herzstillstand, also hatte Herzkammerflimmern und dann gab es da auch kurz einen Stillstand. Der hatte richtig Glück, dass er das überlebt hat. Mit dem Ergebnis, dass er zumindest die letzten 2, 3 Tage vergessen hatte. Die waren einfach nicht mehr da. Immerhin hat er keine wichtigen Fähigkeiten verloren, aber das so zu machen, wäre extrem riskant. Mal ganz zu schweigen davon, dass eine Wiederbelebung auch nicht immer ideal funktioniert.
Shit! A fucking bomb! Come out! Come out, damn it!
In defiance of Zero's suggestions, both Santa and Seven put fingers down their throats and began to gag. The rest stiffened. Some touched their stomachs, some simply stared at their bracelets. Junpei gingerly touched his stomach.
There's a bomb inside me.
The thought of it made him queasy.
Oh.
His stomach felt oddly hollow, and his legs were weak.
What made Zero think creating this horror show of a game was a good idea?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Was ist der Grund für das Spiel? Junpei looked over at the others.
All right. I'm gonna ask one more time. Do any of you know anything about Zero?
They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others would say. Finally, Santa spoke.
Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face, though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kind of gas mask. What the hell? Come on, guys, give me something. You know, like surprise or something?
Instead, it was Santa who looked surprised. There was a moment of silence, and then everyone spoke at once.
I saw that too.
I did as well.
Me too. I didn't see inside the mask, though. That mask, it was really scary.
Huh?
Oh, so all of our abductions were the same. We were taken from home at midnight. The person claiming to be Zero had a mask on. There was white smoke, and then each of us passed out. We woke up to find ourselves on D-Deck, in a room with a 3-level bunk bed.
How about you, Seven? Did the same happen to you?
Only Seven's stories seemed to lack the detail of the others.
Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest of yours.
That was all he had said. It had occurred to Junpei at the time that it sounded somewhat strange, but he didn't press the issue.
Okay, that's good enough for now.
He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger.
So, I have a question.
That was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover.
Snake and Clover, you were both kidnapped from the same room, and you woke up together.
Junpei looked at them thoughtfully.
So, what's the deal with the two of you anyway?
It was Clover that answered. Clearly, she felt she had nothing to hide.
We're siblings.
Siblings?
Yes. Snake is my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little sister. That really so hard to understand?
Junpei was taken aback. The others seemed just as surprised.
She is correct, of course.
He laid his hand on Clovis' shoulder.
Are you, surprised?
Well, yeah, but
Why? There are other people here with connections to one another. Those two, for instance.
Snake pointed at Junpei and June.
Oh, you mean between Jumpy and me?
Ah, yes. You did say you were childhood friends, didn't you?
Wait, you went to school together?
Yeah.
June glanced at Junpei, uncomfortable with the sudden attention.
Well, yeah.
Junpei felt somewhat nervous as well and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible.
Hey, you think maybe we could figure out who Zero is this way?
yeah, you're right. You connect the dots between the victims, and that leads you to the perp. Textbook stuff.
Junpei. June. Does any of this ring a bell?
Huh, ring a bell.
Ring a bell?
They looked at one another. And like it was staged, they both tilted their neck at the same time.
Well, perhaps you went to school with the son of a multimillionaire.
A millionaire?
Son?
Well, someone bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich.
Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Most likely, Zero is simply the representative of a larger group.
What sort of organization?
It could be a number of things. An army, perhaps, or a research group. Perhaps this is all some sort of psychological experiment.
If it is, then it's a pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on! A guy's dead!
The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again.
I don't know who the hell this Zero asshole is, but I know for sure he's gotta be pretty fucked up in the head to do all this. If this was all one guy, then he's got some serious issues.
Even with the specter of death hanging over them, their discussions continued for some time.
I thought we were finished with that topic.
But then what should we do?
We should talk it through.
Oh my god, enough! All we're doing is talking!
Santa threw up his hands, his voice filled with irritation.
Talking won't solve anything! It can't help us find our way out of here! You really sure you want to just sit around? We've only got 7.5 hours left. We already wasted 1.5 hours of our 9 hours.
Everyone there was already on the edge of panic. What Santa told them only made that feeling more intense. No one was willing to argue this time.
You're right.
Very well then. There's only one way for us to proceed.
Sure not gonna be fun running around knowing we gotta jump when Zero says jump.
Well, it's stupid to just sit around here doing nothing.
Thanks to Snake's card, at least we have some idea of how this all works.
Correct. And so long as we all follow the rules, we will most likely be all right.
But
But what?
who's going to go in which door?
Yep, und das ist der Punkt, an dem ich tatsächlich sagen würde, ich mache für heute mal Schluss. Weil es sind jetzt auch schon über 2 Stunden und ich muss morgen arbeiten. Also gibt noch ein paar Kleinigkeiten, die ich erledigen wollte vorher. Und ja, ich bin auf jeden Fall froh, dass ein bisschen Gesellschaft heute da war. Ich bin gespannt, wie es bei den nächsten Folgen aussieht, ob ein paar Leute bis dahin geguckt haben. Ich denke, ich werde am Donnerstag weitermachen. Ich kann es aber noch nicht versprechen. Aber erstmal gibt es natürlich Dienstag wieder Humblewood. Also Dungeons & Dragons. Da freue ich mich auch sehr drauf, weil ich einfach... Ach, ich liebe meine Truppe, mit der ich spiele. Es ist einfach wundervoll. Und vor allem sind die gerade auf einer sehr spannenden Stelle. Ich meine... mysteriöse Informationen, die man in einer Magiergilde findet und seltsame Vorkommnisse, die dort passieren, düstere Omen und so weiter. Das ist doch immer ein wunderschönes Setting. Aber gut, wie gesagt, ich würde sagen, wer regelmäßig bei mir vorbeischaut, dem kann ich nur empfehlen, mal in unsere Dungeons & Dragons Runden reinzuschauen. Es ist sehr, sehr schön. Da wird es dann übrigens, wenn wir mit Humblewood fertig werden, was wahrscheinlich in den nächsten paar Wochen passieren wird, dann auch wieder mit Curse of Strahd weitergehen. Da freue ich mich auch wieder drauf. Und dann mit einem Neuzugang bei uns. Jetzt ohne Hintergrundgeschichte schwierig, den Zusammenhang zu finden. Yep, das ist hier definitiv so. Das ist ein rein storybasiertes Game. Das ist Visual Novel eben. Das heißt, es ist halt wirklich so, die meisten Visual Novels sind halt darauf ausgelegt, dass du sie von Anfang bis Ende halt auch durchspielen musst, um sie zu verstehen. Wenn du mittendrin einsteigst, wird es schwierig. Dennoch, ich kann es nur empfehlen. Diese Reihe ist unglaublich gut gemacht. Foreshadowing ist so gut und subtil. Die Plot-Twists sind unfassbar gut und vor allem immer auch Sachen, die einem nicht so... Also ich sag mal, es gibt Plot-Twists, die sind einfach schlecht. Plot-Twists sind unter anderem schlecht, wenn sie entweder a. absolut unvorhersehbar sind, dass es nichts gibt, was vorher darauf hingedeutet hätte. Also wenn man gar nichts hätte, was irgendwie darauf hindeutet, weil dann ist es einfach nur, oh, da war jetzt der Autor halt einfach faul oder hatte eine Idee, wie er mal irgendwie Leute überraschen kann, aber es fühlt sich dann unbefriedigend an, weil man einfach denkt, der Autor will einen verarschen. Und eine andere Sache ist, wenn der Plot-Twist uninteressanter ist, als wie es tatsächlich gewesen wäre, wenn man ihn einfach hätte genommen, also wenn man den Twist quasi ausgelassen hätte, als wenn die Story einfach so weiter verlaufen wäre, wie man es erwartet hätte. Einfaches, sehr gutes Beispiel dafür ist, für alle Leute, die Star Wars Episode 9 gesehen haben. Erstmal ein Film, der sowieso in meinen Augen richtig schlecht war. Aber es gab diesen einen Plot-Twist, als Chewbacca quasi erstmal entführt wurde. Rey feuert aus Versehen Blitze auf dieses Gefährt ab, wo sie denkt, dass Chewbacca drin ist. Das Ding geht in Flammen auf, stürzt ab. Und man denkt sich, oh Scheiße, sie hat Chewbacca umgebracht. Eine Szene später gibt es plötzlich Reveal, oh nee, warte. Chewbacca war in einem anderen Gefährt, dem geht's noch gut. Was löst dieser Twist aus? Erstens, es ist eine Sache, die völlig einfach mal eben so ohne irgendeine Erklärung herkommt. Zweitens, es ist viel uninteressanter auf diese Art, weil Chewbacca trägt zu dieser Story nichts weiter bei, außer damit durchaus er befreit werden muss, müssen die anderen auf eine bestimmte Station, auf ein bestimmtes Schiff, ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher. Und vor allem, Rey hat keinerlei Schuldgefühle mehr, dass sie da dunkle Seite und Blitze und sowas gemacht hat. Völlig egal. Das spielt keine Rolle mehr, weil die Erleichterung da ist, sie hat ihren Freund nicht umgebracht oder ihren Verbündeten. Hätte sie das aber gemacht, hättest du so eine wunderschöne charaktergeschriebene Story über Schuldgefühle draus machen können. Aber nein. Und das ist ein Problem. Das ist etwas, wo ich selber sage, das ist ein schlechter Plot-Twist. Es wäre besser gewesen, wäre Chewbacca in dem Moment gestorben und Rey hätte sich mit Schuldgefühlen rumplagen müssen. Aber das ist generell ein Problem, das dieser 9. Star Wars Teil hat, aus dem einfachen Grund, die Charaktere haben keine Zeit, Charaktere zu sein. Denn die müssen immer von A nach B rennen und sich gegenseitig anbrüllen, wo sie als nächstes hin müssen. Das ist der Inhalt von Star Wars Episode 9, sind wir mal ehrlich. Aber gut. Genug davon. Hier sind die Twists gut. In diesem Spiel, es werden Twists kommen, es werden sogar mehrere Twists kommen, insbesondere abhängig davon, welche Route man jetzt lang geht. Denn es ist so, zumindest im ersten Teil, gibt es immer noch so eine gewisse Konvergenz. Das heißt, Story-Abschnitte laufen auch wieder zusammen. Man hat aber immer wieder Teile, an denen es sich auffächert. Und abhängig davon, welchen Weg man gegangen ist, bekommt man unterschiedliche Enden. Und das letzte Ende kann man erst bekommen, wenn man ein bestimmtes anderes Ende schon gesehen hat. Das heißt, man muss es mindestens zweimal durchspielen. Und eigentlich spielt man es öfter. Man kann aber Sachen überspringen und es gibt auch eine Karte, auf der man quasi sagen kann, springen wir mal an die entsprechenden Punkte. Ich weiß gar nicht, ist die hier... Nee, das ist Save? Nein, okay, ich wollte jetzt eigentlich... So, Menü? Flowchart. Da sehen wir das nämlich hier. Das ist das Flowchart. Da sehen wir hier Novel, Escape Room und so weiter. Das teilt sich hier auf. Und da gibt es insgesamt nachher hier 5, streng genommen gibt es 6 Enden. Abhängig davon, welche Wege man gegangen ist und wie man da hingekommen ist, und das teilt sich dann immer wieder auf. Es gibt aber auch immer wieder Konvergenzpunkte. Was ich persönlich sehr, sehr gut finde. Im 2. und 3. Teil ist es ein bisschen anders, aber auch da ist immer viel mit Auffächern der Story. Und an jedem Weg, den man geht, kriegt man immer irgendwelche kleinen Twists und Informationen. Und es sind alles Dinge, die irgendwie Sinn ergeben, die zusammenpassen und auf die hingedeutet wird. Und das ist das Gute an dieser Reihe. Das macht einen guten Plot-Twist aus. Genug davon. Ich mache hier, wie gesagt, Schluss. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Ach ja, erstmal, das super, by the way, mal schauen, wie die Zeit ist. Der Film war grausam, das Storytelling war tatsächlich gehetzt, aber ich fand auch das Charakterdevelopment nicht passend. Ich sag mal, es gab 2 Szenen, die ich in Star Wars Episode 9 gut fand. Die eine mit Poe und der anderen Deserteurin. Nicht mit Poe, mit Poe und seiner Ex und mit Finn und der anderen Deserteurin. Weil das waren die einzigen Momente in Star Wars 9, wo die Charaktere mal Charaktere sein durften. Wo die mal Emotionen hatten, wo die mal was anderes gemacht haben, als immer nur von einer Stelle zur nächsten zu rennen. Ganz abgesehen von diesen einigen Sachen in den Plot, die einfach Beleidigung der Intelligenz der Zuschauer waren. Der Dolch. Boah. Als ob da jemand gestanden hat und bei dem Wrack des Todessterns abgepaust hat, wie dieser Dolch nachher aussehen muss. Aber weiter. Wie gesagt. Schau gerne mal bei Pen and Paper vorbei. Macht auf jeden Fall sehr viel Spaß mit dieser Truppe. Und ansonsten kann ich nur empfehlen, hier wieder reinzuschauen, wenn es wieder soweit ist. Ich versuche am Donnerstagabend wieder zu streamen. Ich habe mir nämlich Donnerstag und Freitag freigenommen. Und wollte mir ein schönes, langes Wochenende machen, auch mit 1. Oktober hinten dran. Und ja, wir sehen uns dann, wie gesagt, beim nächsten Mal. Für alle, die es nachher im VOD schauen hier, Däumchen immer wieder schön. Ihr wisst schon, YouTube, Algorithmus und so weiter, Engagement, bla blub. Aber reicht jetzt auch. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio!